You pretend you want partnership, but what you really want is attention. You want a narration, and you want a life built around your feelings. Women, your main character syndrome has ruined modern dating. Basically, women are just looking for a life-size ChatGPT doll that will just agree with everything you say or do and just sit back and watch your show. Because you don't want a boyfriend, you want an audience. Dating becomes a stage. The boyfriend becomes a supporting character who gets to react, affirm, and revolve around you. We are currently living in an audience culture. Social media has trained women to chase validation, and women have started living for being seen. Any semblance of connection has now been replaced by engagement. And this constant engagement has messed with our heads to think that that's how a relationship has to be. You need to grow up and stop letting your emotions and your main character syndrome ruin your life. Modern women know exactly what they bring to the table. It's why they're now shouting, "I am the table." Like that's a real thing. It's not. You're not the table. That's not how the idiom works. The table is a foundation, not a person. Basically, if you say I am the table, you're saying I am the relationship. Well, that seems healthy. You're saying basically you're the only thing in this whole situation that matters, being the table. What smart, worthwhile man is willing to put any effort, any investment into a broken, self-important, unstable table? No, that man is going to go over here and he's going to make his own table, make sure there's no place at it for you. If you know you bring nothing to the table, that doesn't therefore thus make you the table. It just makes you undateable. But really go ahead and keep calling yourself the table so that every man can hear this and they can run. They can avoid you and you can stop ruining this dating thing for the rest of us. And now what's happening is that women, which probably has already been happening for all these years, but I'm just like noticing it, is that we're weaponizing communication in every relationship. I have seen this disturbing trend on the internet. The do the work delusion is what I like to call it, because these women are talking about how the men are not doing the work. They now say we need to talk, but they're doing it as some sort of control mechanism. So when I say I'm hearing women say that they're leaving decent men because the men are not doing the work they're talking about is emotional processing, which really is just talking about how you feel every 5 minutes. Because we know for a fact that feelings change. They not only change daily, but they change minute per minute. Do something different, you're going to feel something different. So why are we sitting here talking about it incessantly? And like once that feeling does change, then you're going to need like a whole new therapy session for your new self-discovery. You're saying men don't do the work when all men do is work. Actual work. They're going to jobs. They're working 9 to 5 so that you can play your little self-help guru. They're going to provide for your therapy sessions for whatever you want them to pay for. They're not doing the work. What's wrong with you? You do the work. Do work. You are completely out of touch with reality if you think that men doing the 9 to 5 actual work, building a career to pay for your therapy and your princess complex, is not actually doing the work. They are working their butts off. What work are you doing for them? So most of these women that I'm seeing that are doing the work, it's just an excuse to leave a decent man and upgrade to some other man who's willing to do the real work and also listen to and focus on you all day. The real work that women are actually avoiding doing is the work on themselves that makes them better for other people. They need to work on getting over themselves. The work that women need to do is stop letting their emotions dictate every single action and reaction they have in their lives. We need now more than ever to not make decisions based on emotions. We need to look at patterns. We need to look at behaviors. We need to look at long-term effects. We need to think about the consequences of our own actions and our own feelings if we were to actually express them openly without sitting back and thinking it over. Because that's what men are doing. And it's also why you are over here talking about all the work that men aren't doing, and you're alone and you're sad and you're wondering why all these men are not choosing the new you that you have worked so hard on. We as women need to make choices to contribute to our relationships. We need to contribute to the men in our lives rather than just expect people to contribute to us and our lives. And we have essentially stopped prioritizing actually building something real, something lasting, something stable. Love is a choice. It's not a feeling. It is an action choice we have to make every single day. You're not always going to like the person you're with. You're going to get into arguments. You're not always going to feel the butterflies. That doesn't mean you just leave for the next person that's going to make you feel something. You have to make active decisions and choices to stay in your relationships and work on them together. Emotional chaos is not a personality, and it's not anything a well-adjusted person will accept long-term. Constant trauma dumping and talking about your feelings just leaves you in a constant trauma cycle. And this trauma cycle doesn't actually let you heal and grow and become an actual better person. The type of healed, better person who allows you to be in a healthy, compatible, long-term relationship. Your audience seeking is replacing your contribution. Your therapy speak has become your leverage. Your emotional volatility has become your identity. And now this doing the work is just a new badge that gives you some sort of internal justification to leave a decent person, a decent relationship, to leave someone who wasn't actually the problem to begin with when you, in fact, are the problem.
Let's go.